The Endorphin Speed was really born from the Pro, and it came from, as we started working with the athletes, we found out that a lot of them were interested in that feeling of feeling faster, feeling more efficient, even on like their everyday runs, tempo runs, quicker runs, so not just in their 10Ks, half marathons, marathons, and super long workouts. And one of the things we really tried to lean into was they were looking for a similar experience, but ultimately wanted something with maybe a little bit more flexibility. So the solve here was to take the benefit of the Pro, so use the same midsole foam, the same midsole, and instead of a carbon fiber plate, we have a nylon plate that creates some stiffness, but not quite as much. So a lot of the efficiency in the Pro, and certainly the Speed, comes from creating a stiff forefoot. So the stiffer the forefoot, your foot has to work less to grab the ground and kind of like propel yourself. So the shoe, the stiffness of it does some of that work for you. So in the Speed, we wanted to build something that wasn't quite as stiff. It was optimized for faster runs, tempo runs, everyday type runs. And then in the upper of the shoe, we also wanted to engineer in more of the creature comforts of like a fast or a lightweight or even everyday shoe. So compared to the Pro, we built in a 3D molded heel counter, as opposed to a counter that's like from a track spike on the Pro. It was really deconstructed, more of a padded tongue, foam linings in the collar, and then we use an engineered breathable sandwich mesh. So we just build in a little bit more comfort, a little bit more durability. So it's optimized for someone that wants to run every day in it, whether they're doing tempo runs, a long run, easy run. I think what's unique and something that we learned through all our testing and all our feedback with runners and athletes was the idea of like the mechanism to create the efficiency was the geometry and the stiffness. So it didn't mean it had to have the carbon fiber plate. Certainly the carbon fiber plate plays a significant role in what we're doing with the Pro, but as we came down to the Speed, we knew that if we could create a stiff geometry with a high stack height and a lightweight foam with high energy return, we could create an efficient shoe for speed day, for everyday type running. So we use and optimize that same midsole and just change out the carbon fiber plate for a little bit more flexible nylon plate. The target weight on this was to get under 8 ounces. So we came in at 7.8 ounces for a men's 9, so extremely lightweight proposition for something with this thick of a stack height. And then also as we wanted to reach more runners and get to more of an everyday consumer, getting the MSRP to 160 was really a sweet spot for us. So really two of the big differences between the Speed, the Endorphin Speed, and our Kinvara is that energy return that's built into the midsole. So it comes at a premium, but you get a little bit more energy return. The other big difference is the stiffness. So here you get a stiffer forefoot, whereas in the Kinvara, you're lower to the ground with a 4 mil offset with a much more flexible forefoot. And it really just comes down to the choice of the runner. There's obviously been lots of runners that love the lower stack height and that flexibility of the Kinvara, so we see that continuing, but there's also consumers interested in something that's a little bit firmer, a little bit stiffer in the forefoot that creates that propulsion. So you'll see the Endorphin Pro on a lot of our athletes this spring, and then following on the heels of that, we'll launch the Endorphin Speed later this summer.